Hey, that was Still Monsters. This is Short Commute. I am your host, Nick Griffith. This is the podcast for people who don't have much time on their hands. Great show coming up. I know I say that about every show, but this one is definitely great. Our guest today is the Young Love Scene. Great interview there. Had a lot of fun with it. Coming up next is the Brainstorm Moment with Andrea Gibson and Birthday for Jay. This is Gordon Goldsmith, better known as the Young Love Scene. Put together some fantastic music. You'll have to check it out. So, Young Love Scene.
I've been trying to figure out how to live in a box with four walls and a roof without a bunch of roommates yelling or partying or getting in my mics, and like and that was it. And I recognized it right. It was weird. It was like these people went home and the world felt like it was falling apart, and it was very scary, obviously, for a lot of reasons, but it was also just like, holy shit, I'm going to do my album. My name is Gordon Goldsmith. I am a producer, singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, guitarist. I'm based here in LA. I've been here for just under 2 years. I basically moved here from Vermont to kind of like get my career off the ground. And yeah, my project is called The Young Love Scene.
It's excellent. Like I heard one of the tracks from it, and like I was saying, I'm like, I'm so excited. Like I'm already a fan, and
Cool.
so then to be able to talk to the guy who made it, that's pretty cool. Like, how did you decide? Okay, like I'm a musician.
Oh man, I would say, I got my first. I was pretty young. I was like 11 years old, and I remember hearing. I'm looking at your shirt, and it was Green Day. It was Green Day. He's for all you guys out there. Nick's wearing a he's wearing a Green Day shirt. So it was Dookie. It was the album Dookie. There was some Metallica. It was just I was outside of Boston. I grew up outside of Boston, and the rock radio stations were always playing just that 90s stuff, like Nirvana, and it was like that started me on my journey. I got a guitar for my 12th birthday.
What kind of guitar was it? Do you remember?
It was I think it was a Suzuki, but it was also maybe a Yamaha. But then I got older, and it was just this like series of every time this wave of realization like hit me, it was just stronger. Like I remember being a kid, and I was like, I really like going home after school and sitting in the basement by myself and playing my guitar for hours. And then I got older, went to college. And then it was kind of an even stronger wave of like, I think I need to do this for money because I don't really want to do anything for money. I just want to do this, but I've sort of figured like, well, if I can make money doing this, then that's what I'm going to do. It's like I spend too much time every day doing this to not make some money, because otherwise I'm not going to make any money.
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes sense. So that's how I became a professional musician, basically.
When did you get started on the Young Love Scene project?
So I started that in earnest in 2020, actually.
Okay.
And I was one of those. Since then, I've heard of a bunch of musicians for whom this was the case, but it was kind of like the pandemic and, frankly, just real talk, the stimulus and shit. Sorry, can I?
Yes.
Okay.
Fuck yes. Nearly 1/3 of all students enrolled in U.S. institutions of higher education are the first in their families to pursue a degree. But today, only 21% of low-income first-generation college students complete their degree. 50% of hiring managers reported that even after finishing a 4-year degree, recent college graduates are not job-ready. That's where America Needs You comes in. America Needs You, or ANNIE, fights for economic mobility for ambitious first-generation college students. They do this by providing transformative mentorship and career development. This one was brought to my attention by my friend Tiffany Hoke, who volunteers as a mentor in New York. They're also in California, Illinois, and New Jersey. They have a 4-star Charity Navigator rating. Their flagship programs include the Fellows Program and First Gen U. And these are programs that are going to help first-generation college students succeed in college as well as life. That's America Needs You, or ANY. And you can find them at americaneedsyou.org.
I had conceived mentally of this project like in like 2009. Like
Okay.
that band name came to me in 2009, and I spent that entire time. I spent like 11 years trying to figure out how am I going to get the money to like record this thing? How am I going to get, cuz I thought I needed to go in the like the quote real studio, and that takes studio time, and all my favorite albums were made in a quote real studio with like an engineer and a desk, and so how am I gonna do that? And I like I moved a couple times, and it was just like I had to, of course, support myself, so I worked in some schools, which was really hard but really rewarding. And I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad I'm not doing it anymore, if that makes any sense.
What level of school?
Elementary.
Elementary.
Yeah, I love those kids so much. It's just like 7, 8 hours a day with them like in that. I'm not cut out for teaching. I had to keep going, but that was an amazing like stopover in kind of my life, and it was very transformative. But
One thing I was talking about with another guest was that how, like just watching children explore the world through play is very interesting. I mean, it wasn't like in like a weirdo way.
no, I know. Yeah.
But, like,
I feel the same way when I talk about it. I'm like, man, I sound like a weirdo. But
no.
yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean. Their minds are so free, and they're so creative, and their energy is so good. It's so good to be around these like little positive little spirits all day. Like that was really cool. So
And so that led you into like, okay, so I have to do this project.
yeah, I couldn't. I wanted to the whole time,
Yeah.
and I couldn't. Like it was always like I've just been like I've been broke my entire adult life, and just trying to like I didn't have a laptop for a really long time. Like I made this album. I've made everything that year, all the stuff I've put out so far, and all of the album that's about to come up. Just like my song Honey is probably the biggest one that I've done, and that was all just me in my bedroom with a laptop.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I finally just decided, like, when I made that decision of like I know this isn't going to come out like perfect, and I know it's not going to be quote studio quality.
You're not going to have Phil Spector's wall of sound in there. Yeah.
Exactly. Like when I just let go of that, and I was like, fuck it, man. I need to do something. I need to take action on this. When I decided to do that, it everything kind of fell into place. And it's crazy how good the sound actually can be when you just like lean into it,
What are your socials or your handles?
Oh, sure. Yeah, of course. IG is at the Young Love Scene. It's all one word. I think pretty much everywhere is just at the Young Love Scene. I am most active on the gram, and I'm actually thinking of starting a YouTube series like to document my life right now, because it's kind of a crazy story, with the homeless thing and all that. So I think I'm going to be more active there as well.
Yeah.
So that's all the Young Love Scene, and there's sometimes you have to scroll through a couple things, but yeah, I'm there.
That was the Young Love Scene. Coming up next is Dylan with Uncut Gems. Thanks to the Young Love Scene for being the guest today. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Catch you next time.